10:10 a.m. It's 81 degrees at 6 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
And just like that, there is a bona fide superstar in Duval. There hasn't been many here over 30-plus years. Travis Hunter, welcome. The guy can do it all. And congratulations, Duval. You're in the center of the universe. You are the talk around the NFL. We're an hour away from tonight's draft, where this is where it's really going to become James Gladstone time. Now, we won't hear anything for the next couple of hours because the Jaguars, as we know, do not have a second-round pick, but they'll get an opportunity a little bit later on tonight in the third round with the 70th pick overall and then the 88th pick overall. I'll say this. I'm just blown away. I am. And I've seen every general manager, and I've watched what they have done around here. I have watched what they have not done around here. We've dealt with egos. We've dealt with stupidity. Somewhere the combination of arrogance and ignorance has come into play. I love what Gladstone did. He made a statement. This is a new franchise. And the support for Trevor Lawrence is what I am most impressed with. All right? He has said it. Liam Cohen has said it. Liam Cohen went out at the NFL's owners' meetings recently and said, we want to make things easier for Trevor Lawrence. You have got to find a way to build this offense. I have been hollering about this since the day the season ended. So many of you out there, and I give you credit for your consistency. I give you credit for your passion, okay? But you want Mason Graham. You want defensive players. You want corners. You want safeties. And I just sit around here and I say, no, 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 no. You spent $275 million in a guy who was supposed to be a generational talent. You must take him to the next level. You must make him elite. The only way you are going to do that is not with patchwork. It is by going out and getting the very best that you can offensively to put around Trevor Lawrence. Congratulations. Last night they did that. Hey, I've been in the camp that I think Hunter is a better corner than a wide receiver. All right? But I see now fully, I see the direction of this new Jaguars regime. And it's enough of these 3.2 points in the first quarter. How many damn times do we sit around here and watch this football team go 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out? They never score. They never score with their first possession. Never. Except for week 16, game 17, excuse me. And by that time, who really cared? This football team has been asleep offensively in the first quarter. They have been in a coma in the first quarter. Fix it. Fix it. And that's exactly what James Gladstone, Tony Baselli, and Liam Cohen did last night. They brought in the best player in the world who was eligible for the NFL draft. And now you can move him all over the place, put him on the other side of Brian Thomas Jr., hopefully run the ball. And I'm going to come right out and say this, okay? You can defense me all you want. Okay, you can talk to me about how they need a 3 technique. You can talk to me about how they need someone else coming off the edge. You could tell me that they do not have a coverage linebacker. You could tell me they need another corner. You could tell me they need another safety. Guess what? I agree with all of that, but I do not care. Give me more on that offensive line. If this football team is going to lose, I want them to lose 33-30, okay? I want them to come out swinging offensively. I want them to be electrifying offensively. I want them to be potent offensively. If they can't stop anyone on the defense, there you have it, all right? You can't fix it all. Every team is flawed. Every team has holes. This quarterback in this city is supposed to be outstanding. Put the talent around him. And again, they did that last night with Travis Hunter. So I'm giving this an A+, and I am a little surprised by your reaction because there's no middle ground here. There's no wait and see. Your opinion has already been made. It was a great pick or it was a colossal mistake. And I thought you were better than that as Jaguar fans. I always brag about how intelligent you are as a fan base. For those of you who have chosen the latter, and you always say something to me like, well, the Jags are going to jag. And I sympathize with you. I mean, I'm a sponge when it comes to listening what it is that you tell me. When I'm not talking, which granted is a tremendous amount of time, I am a very good listener. And you have been scarred, okay? You have been scorned. This is worse than a lover's scorn, okay? Because all relationships, or at least more than 50% of relationships, end up going to the wayside, right? They crash and burn. That's just the way it works. I mean, how many of you out there are working on your second or your third or your fourth marriage, whatever it is? But you stay devoted to your team. And your Jaguars let you down every year. They just do. And here you are trying to deal with a team that they put on the field a year ago who simply appeared to not care, right? Just not care in their acceptance of losing. So you bring in a 34-year-old whiz, you bring in a first-time head coach, and you take the most decorated member of this franchise in its history, and you ask those three to go out here and change it. Well, guess what? They changed it. They made the move for Travis Hunter last night. Do you think Trent Baalke would have made this move for Travis Hunter? No. So why the negative overreaction right now? What are you gaining from it? All the negativity. What are you gaining from it on the 25th day of April? They don't even go on the field for another 3 months. Okay? I mean, if this is week 4, week 5, and we're in the early October, and all of a sudden, I expect see, Ballou, I told you, I knew it would never work. Okay. And there's going to be plenty of you out there that are ready to be in that position. You've done it for Trevor Lawrence over the last 4 years. But don't you appreciate the effort? Don't you appreciate the boldness of this is the losingest franchise in the last 10 years in anything that is team athletics? Okay, worse than the Toronto Maple Leafs. Worse than any. What's the worst team in the last 10 years in the NBA? I know it used to be the Clippers. What's it been recently?
What would you say, the Charlotte Hornets?
Okay, Charlotte Hornets. All right? Worse than any team in the – I already gave you the Toronto Maple Leafs, who haven't won a Stanley Cup since 1967. Right? Worse than any team right now in Major League Baseball. They're trying to do something. They believe this guy is head and shoulders the best player available. So, yeah, they gave up a lot. A number 5, a number 36, a number 126, a 2026 next year. I get it. I get it. There's a ton of risk here. But if it's ruined your weekend, man, you really got to check yourself. Why not admire what is going on. And you know, I will be the first to criticize if this does not work. Okay? I am always going to be that way. I mean, some of you get angry at me when I say that Trevor Lawrence has been underwhelming in 4 years. You know, people will come at me and say, well, they can't run the ball. You're correct. They have a terrible offensive line. You're correct. They've had terrible coaching. You're correct. The defense gets no takeaways. You're correct. They're asleep in the first half on offense. You're correct. I mean, no argument from me, but he's still been underwhelming. That's why I've been so outspoken about offense. Fix your offense. I hope they do it again tonight. I don't want a defensive tackle. I don't want a safety. I want more offensive linemen. I still think that's the biggest problem on this team is your offensive line. And maybe these 4 new guys that they brought in, maybe they can play. We will see. But, I mean, time is so precious. For those who are down, why let it ruin this weekend in April? Why not join the other side that is partying their ass off, that is absolutely ecstatic about the fact that you got a guy with major juice? All right? This team needs it. I mean, this team is soft. This team has a major lack of leadership, particularly in the ditch. On both the offensive and the defensive guy. This team needs a little attitude. This team needs a little bit of look at me. I keep hearing, oh, Travis Hunter's a diva. Travis Hunter's a diva. I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. The guy's a 4.0 student. He doesn't go out except for when he fishes. He plays both sides of the football. He averaged 114 snaps a game at Colorado. He won a Heisman. Everyone says he's a great teammate. Well, where's the diva-ness there? And by the way, if he's got a little attitude, good. Who's the last guy around here who's had that? And look at Brian Thomas Jr. We had him on the air last night with ET. He's very, kind of laid back, almost, I don't want to say shy, but he's not a huge personality. He's a phenomenal player, but he doesn't have that, whatever it is, that a lot of wide receivers in this league, in fact, do have. This should be an outstanding moment for you as a Jaguar fan base. I told you back when Doug Peterson was fired and when they finally said goodbye to Trent Baalke 16 days later, that it's time for this organization to kind of take on an us against the world mentality. You've been picked on for way too long. I mean, I saw it again today when Roger Goodell went on and did a local television show or a national television show and said that, he sees the future where 16 games are going to be played internationally, hopefully very soon. And again, there's the wisecracks. Oh, yeah, Jacksonville, why don't they just move the You're always, you're always the joke, right? You're always the end when it comes to shots that are taken by other fans and members of the media. And I've told you, man, just play the role of the bad guy. Play the role of the old school Oakland Raiders. Play the role of Notre Dame. Play the role of Duke. Play the role of the New York Yankees. Play the role of the Dallas Cowboys. Play the role of the Montreal Canadiens. Why not? Now, you're not nearly as successful as those franchises, but just take it on. You against everyone else. And getting a guy like Travis Hunter to put now on top of that, I think this should be absolutely spectacular for you in this fan base. All right. Now, here comes the real story. How is this going to work out? Liam Cohen said, James Gladstone has said they're going to be fluid. Okay. How is this going to work? He cannot play every snap, every game on the offense and the defense, right? I thought that he would be better suited defensively. And it's me being a total hypocrite when I say offense, 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 offense. Who cares about the defense? I thought Travis Hunter was so good that he would be the exception to the rule. I would have him as my every down corner and then put together some offensive packages. However, listening to them, listening to Gladstone, listening to Cohen, and what they believe they can do with him on that side of the football, I am a believer. And now it completely supports everything that I have said. So, am I wrong? Sure. Let me have it. I'm wrong because I would have said corner with offensive packages. The more that I've really digest this since the pick came in last night, I'm actually thrilled. I am. I mean, all of a sudden, there becomes massive intrigue on what could this offense possibly put together after the expectations were just so incredibly low over the last couple of years. I mean, with him on one side and Thomas Jr. on the other, if you can just put together an offensive line, there's no telling the improvement that this football team can do in 1 year. Again, they averaged 3.2 points in the first quarter. Just think about that. Think about that, hanging with your buddies or hanging with your wife or your girlfriend or ladies out there listening, same deal with you, hanging with the husband, hanging with your friends, and you go to the end of the first quarter and you average 3 points. You go to the halftime break, you average 8.6 points. Awful. I mean, freaking pathetic. Can you imagine coming out to begin the third quarter and you look to the scoreboard and you've put 8 points up? That is what this football team does all the time. And credit has to be given to this new administration where they said, you've got to be kidding me. We believe we have one of the best quarterbacks in the world. We need to get him, not Gabe Davis. Okay? I mean, no. Go on out and bring in a guy that is going to be a difference maker. And that is what this football team has done. When we come back, let's really explore how this thing is going to work. I mean, it's not rare for rookies to all of a sudden not practice, right? But, I mean, they can't grind him over at the Miller Electric Center, I imagine, the way he did at Colorado. The biggest concern, and let's face this, for Travis Hunter, there's no doubt about it, that is injury, right? That is really the only thing that I can see where it's going to be a huge setback. And if that does take place, again, all the contrarians, all the critics, they're going to have a field day here. And that includes a lot of you out there listening who are on the other side of this draft pick last night. And I'll be honest with you, it is my biggest concern. I don't know how you're going to keep this guy healthy at 188 pounds. I just don't. And I know that all their effort is going to be put into it. But it's going to be magnificent to see how practice goes. His effort one day, offensively. What does he do the next day? Defensively. Classroom work. He's got to learn a brand new offense. He's got to hopefully learn a brand new defense. I hope it's a complex defense. He's a smart guy, as we've documented, man. 4.0 was his grade point average. He is a smart young man. And again, he seems to be a homebody. He really doesn't want to leave. He says he doesn't party. He doesn't go out. He likes to spend time with his fiance, and he likes to put his boat in the water. I mean, that's like perfect. As cool as it would be to be a top pick and go out running and ripping and clubbing and doing all that great stuff. I mean, yeah, but wouldn't you rather have someone like Travis Hunter who doesn't do anything at all? And apparently he's a bookworm in the world of football, okay? A total student of the game. So let's come back and get into it that way. I also want to play a comment from you on Liam Cohen and what he had to say involved with Travis Hunter. I just think it's a great day for you out there. This could be a franchise-changing moment. There's no doubt. And, I say that, and I know there's others of you out there that are going to say, yeah, this also could be a complete disaster, right? And this could break this franchise. And when you say something like that, I just kind of laugh and say, really? I mean, how much worse can it get, right? You just won 4 games. How much worse can it get? I admire the boldness in the move by James Gladstone last night. All right, opening comments are brought to you by Shmunez Vision. Starting to get hot out there, right? That pollen is still everywhere. If you have allergies, make an appointment right now at Shmunez Vision. If you find yourself scratching your eyes, redness around your eyes, you're trying to figure out what it is, probably an allergy, right? They'll tell you immediately. While you're there, have a full checkup. Get your eyes, get the very latest as far as your prescription, contacts, glasses, absolutely. What about things that are far more significant, though, like laser eye surgery, 2020 for the rest of your life? You're talking about well more than 30 years worth of experience when you look at Dr. John Hunt, Dr. Catherine Shmunez, and Dr. Neil Shmunez. Things can get problematic, right? This would be a need. That would certainly be cataract surgery, refractive surgery. Again, plenty of experience here at Shmunez Vision, and you get to talk to the doctors who perform the surgery. There's a lot of places where you want to ask questions. You're like, no. I got to go. Talk to a surgery counselor. That's never the case at Shmunez Vision. They will answer everything that is on your mind. One of the reasons why I think they're the best in town. Shmunez Vision. Check them out online as well. You can go to Instagram. Get the very latest from Shmunez Vision as far as the testimonials there. All right, this is going to be a great night. It really is. I mean, come on. The only problem I have right now is that I'm not knocking back cocktails with you. I am stone sober. And that'll change because I'm on my way to New Orleans in 1 hour and 38 minutes. In the meantime, it's all about you, Duval. 641-1010. Best way to join us. Text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
Now, another classic moment in Jags history.
Brunell sloshs it downfield looking for Keenan in the end zone. Keenan leaps, makes the catch. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Touchdown, Jacksonville. 31 yards.
The home of the home team you grew up with. 1010XL.
Hey guys, it's that time of year again. The home team is looking for new players on the field, and you're looking to get that old car or truck out of your driveway. I can help. This is John Johnson over at First Coast Recycling. We buy junk cars. Draft us to buy your old car or truck for fast cash. Just call 904-294-1659 for a quick and easy quote from First Coast Recyclers. Come on, let's take your driveway back.
Scholar athletes don't just score on the field. They also excel in the classroom.
That's why 1010XL salutes the Southeast Orthopedic Specialist, Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Wednesdays on The Frangie Show. Brought to you by the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234.
An ACL tear can be a devastating injury with prolonged pain and rehabilitation. Hi, I'm Dr. George Bari. I'm a sports medicine orthopedic surgeon who grew up right here in Jacksonville and then went on to train with the world-renowned Dr. James Andrews. At Bari Orthopedics, we use the most current techniques to get you back on the field with less pain and quicker rehabilitation. We treat all types of sports injuries with the newest techniques available. Please call us for consultation or visit BariOrthopedics.com.
Find out more at BariOrthopedics.com. That's BAHRI Orthopedics.com.
Need a fast casual option that's healthy, fresh, and delicious? Choose the Great Greek Mediterranean Grill. Gyros, salads, hummus, and more made completely fresh right as you order. Off 210 and St. John's Parkway. The Great Greek Mediterranean Grill.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
I was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean when it happened. There was a sudden jolt, and our submarine crashed on the seafloor. We were in total darkness.
That's Dr. Dejana Figueroa, a marine biologist and STEM teacher, talking about a deep sea dive she'll never forget.
It's funny, when I was a kid, I was afraid of the ocean, and there I was, 2 miles below the surface. But as a scientist, you prepare for that. Using our training and a little creativity, we fixed the sub and finished our experiments. The dive was just too important. Every dive gives us glimpses at things few people ever get to see. Glowing creatures, fiery undersea volcanoes. When we got back to the surface, I kissed the ground and called my mom, of course. But you know what? I wouldn't trade that dive for anything.
Dr. Figueroa uses her passion for STEM to discover new things and make the world a better place. She can STEM, so can you. Check out She Can STEM for more stories and inspiration. A message from the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold and silver and diamonds from the public. Gold has recently hit an all-time high at almost $3,000 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar or trade it in for a new piece and get even more value at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes here with a challenge. A challenge might not be the best choice in words, so let's say an opportunity. Take the opportunity to lose 40 by the 4th with Awaken 180. It sounds a little different when you put a real goal to it, doesn't it? Maybe you looked at the scale this morning and it read 230 pounds. How about it reading 190 by the 4th? Maybe the scale says 300. Wouldn't the number 260 be a little nicer on your eyes and on your joints? It's attainable if you have the same results we all had with Awaken 180. I dropped 40 pounds in 9 weeks. Hacker dropped his first 40 in just 6 weeks. Dempsey, Blue, and everyone else I know, same results. And we've kept it off. The best thing about Awaken 180 weight loss, it will completely change the way you think, see, and feel about food. The results are real, attainable, and the process simple with Awaken 180. Take the opportunity and drop 40 by the 4th. It all starts with just one call to Awaken 180 weight loss. Call 844-346-1800 or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Jacksonville's summer heat is coming in fast. Is your AC ready to handle it? Or will it quit on you on the hottest day of the year, leaving you sweating and stuck with a huge repair bill? Duck Air Conditioning is here to save the day with a free AC system inspection. Our expert techs will make recommendations to ensure your AC system is running in tip-top shape before the heat arrives. Call now, 904-862-6769. Duck Air Conditioning, duckac.com. Any required repairs are not included in the inspection.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Be safe, people. A lot of knuckleheads out there. A lot of injuries out there. A lot of car accidents out there. It's not your fault. Someone else's fault. Driving around with cell phones. Driving around with booze. Got to be a defensive driver nowadays. With that said, I do want to bring in sponsor of the program, Alexander Law Practice. They're absolutely the one stop if you have been injured in a car crash. Rick Alexander, more than 30 years. Right here locally in Jacksonville. And he's been rated an AV rating since 2004 by Martindale-Hubbell. This is really exclusive. It's the gold standard for any lawyer. Martindale-Hubbell, in their peer review ratings, they recognize lawyers for their strong legal ability and ethical standards. It's really an elite group. Approximately 10% of all attorneys hold an AV preeminent rating. And its designation is trusted worldwide by buyers and referrers of legal services. Rick's a former prosecutor, and he's been dealing with those who have been injured in automobile crashes since 1998. If you have been injured and you now feel neglected, right? You made a call, didn't get a call back, you've been sitting around, you've been wondering, you probably feel you got to come out of pocket. No, never the case. at Alexander Law Practice. You never come out of pocket. Things get settled, obviously, at the end, and you will be expected through Alexander Law Practice to be bringing in some money, right? That's what you have earned, unfortunately, throughout the injury. So just go to Alexander Law Practice. That's alexanderlawpractice.com, or for a free review, call them at 400-6600. RJ Saunders, is that you over there? Is that you I see on the other side of the glass? How are you, young man?
Good, Rick. How are you, man? And always enjoy doing this.
I think we did it 2 weeks ago over at Cimarron. We played a little bit of golf, had a good time out there.
Absolutely. Loved everybody that came out and supported.
I didn't think you were talking to me because of Orlando Magic, Boston Celtics basketball.
Oh, that was you. You wanted to see the score, so I had to keep you up on the happenings of the first-round series between the Celtics and the Orlando Magic. Celtics currently holding a 2-0 series lead against Orlando as they play tonight at the Kia Center.
Yes, sir. That's coming up in about 30 minutes. I want to play something here from you, for you from Liam Cohen. But first things first, let's go to the owner, Shad Khan, okay? And when I saw this, I went a couple of other places because, nowadays, you just don't know what to believe, right? With all this fake stuff and even AI, and whatever it may be, you almost have to double and triple check. And I was kind of kidding earlier in the week that maybe nothing from Shad Khan is a good thing. After last year, he was force-fed the message from Trent Baalke that this was the greatest Jaguars team in 30 years. I wish I knew then what I know now, because it really set up for a disaster. But Shad Khan said this last night, and I quote, "One thing the Jags have always done well is building draft capital. We've been great at stockpiling picks, and when it gets right down to it, what do you have to show for it? We need difference makers. That's what we got." End of quote. This may be, outside of when Shad Khan said that he's not moving the Jaguars anywhere, this may be the greatest quote yet from Shad Khan. This, in my opinion, is absolutely outstanding. Also, talking about offense and defense, Dave Campo, a good friend, and obviously we'll have him on next week. Haven't had him on a little bit. He did say that throughout my experience, there is a much better chance of an injury at defensive back than receiver. That is intriguing for me as well. All right, let's get to Liam Cohen. He had this to say about the offensive explosion and what this means now to Trevor overall in this offense.
Yeah, a little bit. You're always trying to add competition and playmakers, right? There's so many schemes that you can devise and execute, and ultimately when you have players that can win on their own and do something with the ball on their own, I can't really coach that, and defensive coordinators can't really coach for that. So ultimately you're looking for players, can they win on their own, and can they impact our offense in that way? Yes, he does, and that is what we were looking to do in so many ways. Try to address the ability to block up front in the pro free agency and get some more help there and competition at that positions on the O-line, and try to go get this guy here.
They didn't have a conversation with Travis Hunter outside of the combine. The 15 minutes spent with him in Indianapolis in February. That was it. They didn't bring him in for a visit. They did not take part in his pro day. All right, remember, he wasn't supposed to work out during the pro day. Then he went out and caught some footballs from Sanders. I'm not saying the Jaguars didn't have a scout there, but obviously we knew that James Gladstone and Liam Cohen were not there. They kept this completely under wraps. Something else that we learned last night for the first time, which I thought was very interesting, is James Gladstone went on to say he has been having conversations for over the last 2 weeks with Cleveland's general manager, Andrew Berry. Again, it started the leak the day before the draft. It leaked on Wednesday. There was a report out of Chicago. There were 2 reports out of Chicago. Then something was coming out of San Francisco. And it had to deal with James Gladstone making calls. And, I kind of sat back and I was like, well, this guy's not doing anything. He's not, he's not tipping his hand either way. I obviously felt that if another general manager would pick up the phone and call James Gladstone, he obviously is going to take that call. But that's what blew me away, is that no one around here had reported or had learned that Gladstone was making calls until the day of the draft. And it really began with Rappaport. Ian Rappaport of NFL Media came out and said some things, and then it began to grow its own head. But I really appreciate that confirmation from Gladstone. I mean, putting 2 weeks worth of effort, and just think of how this was completely on the down low. That is pretty impressive. What I think is going to be so cool now is to try to understand the thought process that goes into how do you handle Travis Hunter. And it's so much more than meat and potatoes. It's so much more than old school football. We have seen for years, okay, in every training camp in the NFL, soft cell injuries. I mean, the last thing you want is to hear that Travis Hunter's got a hamstring, right? How are they going to care for this guy? Where does nutrition come in? Where does strength and conditioning come in? Where does nutrition come in? Where does work come in? How much do you want him repping offensively and then repping defensively? How do you do this day after day after day? I think it's going to be fascinating because you've never dealt at this level with an athlete like this, okay? My biggest concern remains I can't see it working for a long period of time. This league is just way too complex. This league is way too good, right? I mean, he played 114 snaps a game at Colorado. I do get one thing. You don't have those hurry-up, fast-paced offenses that you see in a lot of these college football programs, right, where they don't huddle up at all, and it doesn't matter what they do. They go right back to the line of scrimmage. Look at Oklahoma. I mean, I guess USC now, I haven't watched as much with Lincoln Riley, but certainly watching Oklahoma, I mean, their plays were like 4 plays, 80 yards, take a minute 19 off the clock, right? And they just run so many plays a game. The NFL is a little bit more established, a little bit more, I don't know what word I'm looking for, kind of set in stone, where doesn't it appear like almost every, well, not every, but the high percentage of snaps in the NFL is with the play clock, 5, 4, 3, and that's, so they take a lot more time. So, there's not going to be as many snaps per game. But I'm not even really diving into that part of it yet. I'm more interested in practice habits. I'm more interested in how they maintain this through a 17-week season where everyone who has ever played the game that I've spoken with, whether they admit it in season or not, they are bumped and they are bruised and they are beaten up. The game totally changes from week 1 to week 6, and week 6 to week 12, and week 12 to week 17. Again, a lot of these guys, for several different reasons, perhaps one being fear of losing their job, regardless of how beaten up they are, they're such tough guys that they're not going to tell anyone that they're hurt. I've always heard there's a difference between being injured and hurt, whatever it may be. I don't know. I never played the game. But you hear about it often after the season. You don't hear it in season for several different reasons. To me, that is going to be the best part of all of this. Is watching everyone involved, the eyes on Hunter, and the difference in opinion that comes in on how to monitor this, especially right out of the gate. All right, when we come back, we'll get much more. We'll hear from our buddy Dave Weidel, who is going to check in. Greg Huntington is, I'm hearing from everyone, right? This city is absolutely ecstatic right now. Wydell wanted to go the other direction. We just going to see what he says coming up on the other side. All right, several ways for you to join us. 641-1010 text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Welcome to all those watching on YouTube tonight. Go to 1010XL into the night. And you can always get me on Twitter at Ballou1010XL.
Your home for Florida Gators baseball is 1010XL.
It's a weekend series loaded with top talent. The 5th-ranked Razorbacks and the Gators in the Swamp, Arkansas, Florida. Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday afternoon on 1010 a.m.
When you think of America, you think baseball, cookouts, military, and pride for our country. At Garber Auto Mall, we're proud to carry every American-made truck at one location. Ford, Chevy, GMC, Ram, and Jeep. With the largest inventory selection in North Florida, you can shop with one salesperson. Garber Auto Mall is proud to support our country, our military, and our community. Visit us in Green Cove Springs or at GarberAutomall.com. Garber Auto Mall. Proud to be American.
I'm Chris Campione. Veterans have given so much in the service of our country, but when it comes to legal challenges, you shouldn't have to fight alone. At Campione Law, we're here to help veterans like you get the support and compensation you deserve. Whether it's a workplace injury, a personal injury claim, or navigating a veteran's disability claim, we'll stand by your side every step of the way. Your service to our country matters. Let us serve you with the dedication and respect you deserve. Call Campione Law for a free consultation today. Campione Law, fighting for veterans, fighting for justice. Visit CampioneLaw.com.
Interested in a unique date night? Gibby here. I took my wife Nikki to Wick, a candle bar. She made her own custom candle right there in the store. Shop local at Wick, a candle bar. Locations in San Marco and Jax Beach.
So, you finally have some time to yourself. Even if it is just the car ride home, it's you time. And look at you. Do not disturb set before you even got in the car? Impressive. You've earned this moment to just chill and drive. This break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
Best Bet is number one. That's right, Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine have one-card poker, the fastest and easiest card game to learn and play. Play one card at a time, and the highest card wins even money. If the card values are the same, it's time for war, just like the game you remember. You must be 18 years or older to play. Learn all the games at bestbetjax.com. That's bestbetjax.com.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On April 25, 2009, at the NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Georgia quarterback Matthew Stafford with the first overall pick, playing for the Lions from 2009 to 2020.
The Sawgrass Marriott Golf Resort and Spa is the perfect place for indulging in a pampering spa treatment. This Mother's Day season, give the gift of wellness with a gift card and take advantage of the spa's current promotion. Buy a $75 gift card or more and guests get a credit towards a future service. With healing massages, revitalizing facial treatments, and more, a day at the Sawgrass Spa makes a perfect gift for everyone. Purchase in person at Sawgrass Spa during operating hours.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Catch Gators baseball all season long on 1010XL. Pitched by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. And Renewal by Anderson, the official window and door replacement partner of the Florida Gators.
Prosser here, spring has sprung, and it's a great time to sell your house, but only if you have the very best on your side, and those very best are Chad and Sandy Newman. Spring selling season's here, rates are down, activity's up. It's the best time in years to sell your home, in fact, but there are homes sitting on the market. They don't have the right representation. That's where Chad and Sandy step in. Maybe you're worried your home needs repairs or updating and it won't sell for a good price. Maybe your family's growing and you need more space. Whatever the reason that you need to sell your home, Chad and Sandy deliver this promise to you. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold
at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Sounds pretty hassle-free to me. Take it from Mike and Rosemary in St. Augustine. We were determined to buy an affordable home in a specific school zone, but we didn't qualify for the loan needed to get one. Chad and Sandy's team worked with the lender, negotiated a higher qualification price, lower interest. It was huge, $200 less per month. Do it today. Call 414-6200 or go to chadandsandy.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Trevor, I almost said Trevor Lawrence. How about Travis Hunter, newest member of the Jacksonville Jaguars? How are they going to use him? It's going to be primarily offensive work, mixing in some D. I'm here for it. The commitment has been made by this organization to build around Trevor Lawrence. And when we went through the whole hiring process, I kind of flipped out a little bit about how what I would want in my head coach candidate would be a guy who walked into Baselli and Shad Khan and said, give me the keys. I'm going to make Trevor Lawrence one of the best quarterbacks in the world. Not, there's limitations there. It looks like he doesn't throw an accurate ball, and, his velocity is way too much, particularly in the screen game, and, he gets hurt too much. No. Screw that. No. It's, give me the keys. Watch this. And I think that was a selling point. I don't know that. I think that was the selling point, or a big part of it, for Liam Cohen. But whether it's been Gladstone or Cohen since we've met them, they continue to harp on the offensive line. And in this case, the lack of the offensive line. I'm not thrilled at the 4 guys they signed. I'm not thrilled, okay? Two of them I had to look up, okay? Doesn't mean they can't play. Doesn't mean things aren't better around here than they were. But it still needs to have a complete overhaul, in my opinion. And that is right back where I would go tonight, okay? It's not a great offensive line class. I'm even looking at projections with the draft in the second round getting set to get underway in less than 13 minutes. Not a ton of guards, not a ton of tackles. In a draft that appears to be heavy at running back and at defensive tackle, this appears to be a weaker one on the other side of the football. I'm reading what you are sending me in all of the channels. And again, we're getting defense. 8403. Ricky, finally, a GM coach regime with the, I'll call them berries, to do something gutsy and go for it. We need a sure thing, his attitude and personality, pay him whatever he wants. Now go get some defensive players. See, I got you. But I'm gonna stay on this. My hollering. I've been on it since the season ended about everything being about the offense. And I want to tell you right now, I'm going to the offensive line tonight with one of my third-round picks. I'm not set. Numbers-wise, it looks good. Production-wise, we don't know. There's not one certainty on here. As soon as you bring up your left tackle, Walker Little, that in itself is probably a 12-pack conversation, okay? And you may not get anywhere during those 12 beers. Ezra Cleveland, ditto. Robert Hainsey, okay. Liam Cohen just brought him with him. We've gone through it all. We know that he was pushed to a backup. We know that he's got experience. Patrick McCarray, okay. The guy's played a lot in Baltimore, a lot of different positions in Baltimore. The position that he has played least in the NFL is the position that he is projected to start at here. That is right guard, Anton Harrison. He should be the one that we start with, right? Former first-round draft pick. He regressed a year ago. I'm not giving up on him. I'm not advising that you should give up on him. I'm just saying he regressed. And hopefully a lot of this is that we can look back on it now and say there was bad coaching. We were told that Phil Rauscher was a superstar, and we found out now that, Doug Peterson checked out. It was a mutiny going on. Maybe it was a combination of bad play by the offensive line, but it could have been a bad offensive blocking scheme. And again, Cohen was very transparent about what happened last year in Tampa Bay, where during camp they were doing a certain blocking scheme, and then once they put the pads on, they realized they had to change that scheme because it did not suit what they did best in Tampa Bay. And that's a very good offensive line in Tampa Bay. One of the things Liam Cohen also said, this actually came, I believe, from John Spytek, who's now the general manager of the Las Vegas Raiders. I believe this was at the NFL's owners' meetings, or it might have been the Combine. I don't remember exactly where it was. But Spytek said, I just talked with Liam Cohen, and Liam Cohen told me, the thing I realize now that I maybe didn't completely get now, in a paraphrasing, is just how good that offensive line was in Tampa. And it's anything but here in Jacksonville. All right, Fred Johnson, Luke Fortner, Cooper Hodges, Cole Van Lannon signed his tender this week. Oh, you got a lot of guys. Javon Foster, fourth round. You got plenty of guys. You got plenty of depth. But can you find five that are going to get the job done? They're going to allow this football team to run. They're going to protect Trevor Lawrence. I mean, all of a sudden, you've got two phenomenal wide receivers. And I think a tight end that is going to have a big-time year in Brenton Strange. I would not be shocked at all if they get a running back. Tonight may be a little early in the third round for me, maybe in the fourth round. But I love that part of all of this is this offensive line. But I do think that is the one aspect of this football team that you kind of just brush over, if you will. Oh, Walker Little. You need to stop and have a major conversation, right? I mean, what is the trust with this organization in Walker Little? Trent Baalke signed him out of nowhere. I mean, how did that happen with Trent Baalke, who, should have already been fired, and then he signs him? I think everyone wants to like Walker Little. He just can't stay healthy. And look at that line. Ezra Cleveland wasn't 100% last year. Obviously, Anton Harrison wasn't 100% last year. And I know that as a position group, you're always going to have guys who are beaten up. There is a belief that there's going to be big-time competition on the offensive line. That just because I list those five as starters, and I think that, I feel pretty comfortable about when they line up on day one, that those are the five. But I get the fact that is going to be a spirited competition this year during camp, and there can be jobs won. And hopefully that includes with at least one third-round draft pick tonight coming in on that offensive line. I think this is going to be the hardest thing to really try to figure out because, again, they don't hit. And that's just the way that the league has changed, but we're not going to see any contact, and the only time you do is if you practice with another team or, obviously you look at what goes on in the preseason, and that's not even a perfect model anymore. I think, didn't Jacksonville go undefeated last year in the preseason? I don't think they took on like a starting offense or a starting quarterback. I mean, that thing is kind of messed up. You have some individual drills where you'll be able to tell. Not as many as there used to be, but some one-on-one drills and things like that. But I think that's going to be the most difficult part of really for any team. If there's uncertainty on that offensive line, is trying to figure out what's best when you do not hit. All right, let's get ready for our second hour. I tell you what, since it's my final hour of the week, I'm going to keep you updated on everything with the draft, which is getting set to get underway. But I really want to get you involved with the program. So fire in your thoughts. 641-1010 text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. You can also get us on on YouTube tonight at 1010XL into the night, and you can get me on Twitter, Ballou1010XL.
I'm Logan Cook from the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So Logan Cook will kick it away, and they're going to throw it to Walker. And it's going to be a first down.
On 1010XL.
Are you ready to step up to luxury?
Check out the power of our exciting 2025 lineup, including the Lyric, IQ, Optique, and the stunning Vistique.
With over 15 electric Cadillacs in stock and more on the way, it's the perfect time to trade in your Tesla and embrace luxury with a twist.
At Randy Marion, there are no tariffs. So visit Randy Marion Cadillac on Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville, and see why our electric lineup turns heads.
Don't miss out. Drive Cadillac, electric or gas. We have both. Plus tax tag title $9.99 admin fee and resist all on approved credit.
Are you thinking about a pool for your home? Blue Haven Pools is Jacksonville's largest pool builder. They've built pools for over 20,000 satisfied families since 2000. It's never been easier to design the perfect pool for your home, family, and budget. Call Blue Haven Pools today at 904-620-0090 to get a free in-home estimate for your in-ground pool, or visit bluehaven.com. Don't let another summer pass by without a pool. Join thousands of happy Jacksonville pool owners in a Blue Haven pool.
It's the final days of Diamonds Direct's annual spring sale. This is your last chance to get an extra 20% off our already renowned prices. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off your purchase. But hurry, these savings end soon. And this weekend only, we're open Sunday to give you an extra day to shop our expanded selection of trending engagement ring settings, his and hers wedding bands, must-have fine jewelry, and more. Time is running out. 20% off, store-wide savings. Visit diamondsdirect.com for details.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to itppartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
E to the T here, and Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find the scratch kitchen that comes through in the clutch every day, from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar. Come on, somebody.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
Been in a car crash? I'm local attorney Rick Alexander, and I've made it our mission at the Alexander Law Practice to listen to you so I can fight for the best possible result for you. I've been practicing over 30 years, and our team focuses on guiding you through the entire process. And because fees and reimbursement costs come out at the end of the case, I will never ask you to come out of pocket. For a free review, call 904-400-6600 or log on to alexanderlawpractice.com, Jacksonville.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
What two vegetables are combined in making succotash?
When you file a claim with Southern Oak Insurance, we schedule one of our trusted vendors to work directly with you, which means a faster claim resolution. Find out more at southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
In order to make succotash, you'll need dry corn and dry beans. Suffering succotash was made famous by Sylvester the Cat.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
David here with Royal Pest Services. Man, don't let your yard be torn up by that heavy aeration machine this spring. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to learn more about our granular aeration. Broadcast throughout the tree and shrubs to break up that compacted soil. Visit RoyalPestServices.com.
Pickett here with my concierge doctor, Richard Townsend. Doc T, how does a concierge direct primary care operate?
We are a membership-based primary care made directly between a patient and physician. We'll have a limited amount of patients that allows us to give unlimited access and personal service to you. This individualized approach has been shown to lower hospitalizations as well as maintain healthier lives. We also give 24/7 access via phone to me outside of our scheduled office hours.
To learn more, go to mypvconcierge.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
You know, I was sent this earlier today. It took us back to exactly a year and 2 days ago. All right, that would be the 27th of April in 2024. First overall pick for the 2025 draft, which of course happened a night ago. Shedeur Sanders, 5-2 odds. 4-1, Carson Beck. Quinn Ewers, 5-1. James Pierce, 7-1. Drew Lauer, 12-1, along with Jalen Milroe and Travis Hunter. Jackson Dart, 14-1. Michael Williams, 16-1. Patrick Payton, 25-1. Now at LSU. Abdul Carter, 40-1. And Marvin Jones Jr., 50-1. Marvin Jones Jr. now at Oklahoma. If I didn't mention Cam Ward, he was 25-1. Garrett Nussmeier, 25-1. So it didn't work out for those Florida State defensive ends. We will see. Florida State another day. Right now, it's all about these Jags. Let's get you involved. 1839, Blue. Pitt gets crazy and wants Trevor. Offer tonight's second and third, and next year's one. You went, no, hell no. They're not moving Trevor. They're fully invested. As I tried to explain last week, I really believe the hiring process here was, he's the quarterback. Now fix him. He's the quarterback. Now take him to that next level. And I'm not trying to be obscure here and say that there's different ways to earn your stripes and keep your job. But I also admire and believe that if you fix Trevor and you're still losing, okay, you got to turn around and fix that defense, do some things. But what did they average? 18 points a game last year, for crying out loud. If you're putting up 27, 28, 29, whatever it is, if you're top 5 in the league and you're scoring and you're still losing, kind of like, maybe the way Cincinnati loses or a team like that. Again, this league, you can't fix it all. Every team is flawed. The problem with Jacksonville is that they were so bad in every phase of their game. And again, they lost, 10 contests by 1 possession or less. It's, I guess you can't have less than 1 possession. They lost 10 games by 1 possession. So I'm sure the way that they have looked at this thing, and when they went back and they studied film, they do believe, and this is the way that the league is. This isn't college football pre-transfer portal, where you have these, lines that are so ridiculous. You have 28-point lines, 30-point line. I mean, typically in the NFL, it's 3 points or less. Every once in a while, maybe a touchdown. Yeah, here and there, you may get one that is crazy. But for the most part, this league, the better team wins. Also in this league, there's a fine line. And in so many situations, it comes down to a play here and a play there. A mistake here, a mistake there. Bad coaching move here, a brilliant coaching move there. We dissect these games after they take place. And you always go back to they should have done this, but they did that. Or that's just the way the league is. I got to believe Liam Cohen and James Gladstone and Tony, they took a look at this thing and said, you know what? This roster is really bad. It's a bad roster. But there's some pieces in place. And by adding the proper pieces and by finally coaching them up, turning this thing around in a dysfunctional division is not going to be that hard. That would be my way of looking at this. I mean, consider yourself lucky that you have Indianapolis who can't win here. When's the last time Indianapolis won here? Okay. Houston, they're sketch. They don't know what the hell's going on. And Tennessee? I mean, they just hired a new gentleman, Mike Borgonzi. Mike Borgonzi absolutely blew it. Okay? Blew it. He had the top pick. And he let everyone knew he was taking Cam Ward. I mean, at least play the role. Let everyone know you haven't decided. Yeah, we were in, Cam Ward, absolutely, but Travis Hunter, try to create something. Now, what if a team, look at Jacksonville gave up to move up 3 spots. What if a team was just like, whatever it may take. Now, I understand they wouldn't trade with Jacksonville because it's a divisional team, but he didn't even try to sell it. He didn't even have it out there where, there were rumors that teams were trying to get up to Cleveland at number 2, New York at number 3, New England at number. I mean, why not have it out there? I thought it was a major mistake by him within that division. They're not trading. Now he says Shedeur Sanders. No, that's not happening. My point is that everything that they're doing right now is to take this offense to where it has not been. Okay? To prove to everyone, including owner Shad Khan, look it. You made your investment in Trevor Lawrence. Look at what we've done now with this offense. I mean, a loss is a loss. But wouldn't you feel a little bit better? And there's no such thing as moral victories. But honestly, wouldn't you feel, if I'm wrong here, please tell me. You saw the way that they lost all these games last year, 13 of them. If all of a sudden you were legitimately losing games, right? 38-35. But there was excitement. Just imagine this for 1 second as a Jaguars fan. Try to. I know this is hard. Put both hands on the steering wheel because I'm going to tell you something that you've almost never seen. The Jaguars score on their opening drive. You get to stand up with your buddies. You get to drink a beer. You get to cheer. The Jaguars scored. The Jaguars have a lead. 7-0. Oh, my God. What is going on? This is like experiencing something you have never... the Jaguars are winning. The Jaguars came out and they went 75 yards, took 8 plays, took 4 minutes and 27 seconds off the... Think about it, Duval. Instead of 3 and out, 3 and out. Enter the first quarter. Jacksonville hasn't scored yet. Let's go to halftime. Oh, my God, they're down 21. No. Excitement. Is your defense flawed? Sure. I don't care. Fix the offense first. Get to the defense. You've got some money. You got some draft picks. Fix your offense. You want to make a splash? Go ahead tonight and give a 4th-round pick and bring back Jalen Ramsey. That'll help your defense. And don't be so freaking sensitive, okay? Everyone burns everyone in life. You've had wives burn you. You've had bosses burn you. You've had kids burn you, all right? If Jalen comes back, if this brass says we're bringing him back, accept it.
Now, I do believe, Rick, that people crashed their cars on that one.
Too sensitive. He faked a back injury. I get it. It was gutless. It was horrible. But does he make the football team better? All right? I mean, I would not expect this to happen. But we're talking about a young GM who's bold. Offense. Only 2 quarterbacks selected in the first round last night. Only 2 running backs selected in the first round last night. It's the first time in 10 years there's been as many running backs as quarterbacks selected in the first round. Also last night, first time in 28 years that a team moved up into the top 2 and did not select a quarterback. The only other time it happened was 28 years ago, when the Rams went from 1 to 6 to get Orlando Pace. Pretty interesting stuff. This guy that says, damn right, Ballou. Bring back Ramsey in a heartbeat. Yes. He costs too much. I got you there. But it could be a 2-year deal. 22-27 offense, defense. Bill won until if anyone's done more successful, they're building it out. Fans would love to see the Jags offense win most of their possessions, even when their defense loses the game. At least we have one. Hey, again, I mean, look at, I mean, Blue's got a screw loose tonight. He's trying to tell us that it's better to lose this way than that way. I get it. It's still awful you lose. But come on. I mean, if you're going to lose like Rocky, right? Against Apollo Creed. Let's have some fun with it. Let's have some moments where, you know, this is incredible. Did you see that pass from Lawrence to Hunter? This is incredible. Did you see that pass to Brian Thomas? Well, the defense sucks. Okay, I get it. Instead, this is like seeing the original Jaws. The greatest movie of all time. And last year's Jaguars team was like Jaws 5 in 3D. It was just awful. You understand what I'm saying? They couldn't do anything right. Zero 193 Blue. Rick, the Jaguars always got on the field and score in the first possession of the first game of the season, and then that's where it ends. Yeah, no doubt. Oh, look at all these Jalen's coming in. You people have had it. No Jalen. 91-92. What the hell? 0489. F-bombs being thrown my way on Jalen. 83-98 with an F-bomb. 81-43 saying, Rick, no, he quit on us. I mean, look at all these people coming in with all of their selections, all their opinions on Jalen Ramsey. You people need to get over it, okay? This is your team. This is more important than being scorned by one player. This is about turning things around and winning a game. If you don't bring him back, and listen, bringing him back is very, it's not cost effective, okay? It doesn't make a lot of sense because he's going to cost you more than $21 million a year. But how can you have your feelings hurt about a guy who left you when all this franchise does is lose football games? Okay? If you were a quality product and you were out there week after week after week after week winning, then I can understand that you would be furious. When Roger Clemens left Boston, I was furious. When Ray Bork was traded from Boston to Colorado, I was furious. But those were teams that were winning every year. Okay, they just weren't winning the Stanley Cup or the World Series. This team hasn't won anything. And the process has now been put in to rebuild this. If this brain trust thinks that Jalen Ramsey could come back and help, then hell yeah, you should support it. Surprised you would not. 0148. Hey, Rick, I got a theory for you. 90% of the Hunter naysayers are disgruntled nose. What do you think? Now, and if so, then that's. I had a couple people reach out to me. Oh, you must be pissed. Man, if you can't separate college football from the NFL, then you shouldn't be a fan of them both. I mean, that to me is one of the most absurd things that I have ever heard. It never even crossed my mind. I was so pissed 3 years ago when Travis Hunter, did what he did to Mike Norvell and left him at the altar and went to Jackson State. Excuse me. But that has absolutely nothing to do with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't care where these guys went to school. You think you think I wasn't a fan of Fred Taylor? I mean, no. So 0148, totally, absolutely, 100% disagree with that. And if there are Florida State fans out there, then here's the way that I would look at it. You're really not a Jaguars fan. You're not. Because if you are, you have the mental capacity to be able to separate the team you love on Saturday and the team you love on Sunday. All right? And if you're not, then I can't prescribe drugs to you. I could certainly recommend some things that you should do. But, I mean, if you're really that small, if you're that small-minded that you're bothered by things like that, I just can't even begin to help you. I mean, that's incredible to me. I remember that early on, but you were in your infancy. I remember you being down on James Stewart, all you Gator fans out there. You were down on James Stewart because he went to Tennessee. And I was like, really? I mean, come on. Gosh, speaking of the SEC, 15 first-round picks last night. They continue to dominate, even though they've gone a couple of years without winning a national title. All right, a lot of good stuff coming in. We got much more to do. We're going to take you here until 8 o'clock. I'm surprised the Jalen Ramsey thing has really taken on this life. I'm just trying to make a point, okay, that you took it personally, but sooner or later you get over it, right? When your wife left you, it hurt. But didn't it start to get better a week later, a month later, a year later, 2 years later? You find a new wife, you forget. I mean, same thing with Jalen Ramsey. Okay, it was awful. I ripped him. I destroyed him when he did what he did. But that was then. He didn't like Caldwell. He didn't like Coughlin. He didn't like the fact that Doug Marrone didn't challenge that play. Was he the ultimate diva? Sure. He's also shown that no matter where he goes, Florida State, Jacksonville, Los Angeles, or Miami, there's about a 3-year life expectancy with Jalen Ramsey. And then he ends up burning himself out of town. So if you bring him in for a 2-year, come on in and let's see what you can do, you wouldn't support that? You don't believe that there's been any maturation in his development? If they, and you know what? I think he'd be a better safety at this point in his career than an actual cover corner. I know he'd be way overpaid at the safety position. But I'm making this point because I don't want it to be so personal for you. I mean, seriously. As we move forward, we see less and less care, even though we've been just foaming at the mouth here about Travis Hunter. We see less and less care about the name on the back of the jersey. It's so much more about the name on the front of the jersey. Any of you Gator fans, I mean, you celebrate this national title. You just met them. They like the flavor of the month, right? You just met them. This can't compare to the 04s. You watch them develop, but it's still the same to you when it comes to the jersey, when it comes to the Gator jersey. You won a national title. These names are not going to mean as much to you in 10 years as those names meant to you in 04 when you won those 2 titles with Billy Donovan, because you watched him grow. The world has changed. the same thing in pro sports. Surprised so many of you are stuck on this. Man, there's going to be a lot of shrinks in town making a ton of money on you over the years based on Jalen Ramsey. All right, when we come back, we got much more to do. With you tonight till 8 o'clock. It's great to have you with us.
60 minutes. 4 quarters. 2 teams. 1 winner. 1010XL.
Neck pain, back pain, or headache, Shinatri Chiropractic has 4 locations: Westside, 103rd, Riverside, Arlington, and the Beaches. Acupuncture, dry needling, physical therapy. Relief starts today. Shinatri Chiropractic, 743-6700.
I've been having knee problems for probably 6 months, and my knee was getting worse, and I had heard about Southeast Orthopedics on the radio, and I gave them a call. They got me right in. Dr. Kevin Murphy did it. It was painless, and it's been doing fantastic. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Hey, I've got that craving again. How about some Mr. Chubby's wings?
Have you had the Chubby style wings? Grilled to perfection with Chubby's secret seasoning.
You know I have. They are so delicious. I swear you can't find anywhere in town with better wings and better prices on drinks.
So many different specials each night, too. Well, I'm ready to chub it up again.
Me too.
See all their specials at MrChubby'sWings.com. Locations on Fleming Island, the West Side, and now Ponte Vedra Beach. Mr. Chubby's Wings. Before the game, after the game, and during the game.
Jumbo Shrimp Baseball is home this weekend at the newly renovated Five-Star Ballpark. Join us tonight for fireworks and tomorrow at 6:35 for more fireworks and Dino Night. The first 2,000 fans through the main gate get a Triassic Ballpark t-shirt. All presented by Five-Star Credit Union. Catch on the field and free face painting before the game on Baptist Health Sunday Family Fun Day at 3:05. Tickets start at just $5.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On April 25, 2009, at the NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Georgia quarterback Matthew Stafford with the first overall pick, playing for the Lions from 2009 to 2020.
If you're heading to the Og or you're already part of the nation's oldest, don't forget to drop into Sunset Grill. For over 30 years, serving up great chowder, seafood, wings, and cold beer. Sunset Grill, somewhere on A1A, St. Augustine Beach.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know before you blow. Go to knowbeforeyoublow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
It's Work Zone Awareness Week, Florida. Every year, lives are lost in work zones because of speeding and distractions. When you see orange cones, remember, slow down, follow the signs, and stay focused. Workers are counting on you to get home safely, and so are their families. Let's work together to prevent accidents and save lives. A safety reminder from the Florida Department of Transportation. Slow your roll. Safety's the goal.
What a Guggen this will be. If you and a friend would like to play in this year's Coastal Equipment Guggen Open Golf Tournament May 19th at Hidden Hills Golf Club, text Guggen to the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures at 641-1010 for your chance to win.
He just got a hole-in-one.
Score a hole-in-one and win an Atlantic Infiniti SUV. ET makes a putt, you win lunch at Twin Peaks, a Chick-fil-A breakfast, and a Dandy Foods lunch. Thanks to our sponsors, Injury Care Centers, Kingfish Pest Control, and Valor Roofing.
Trying to figure pricing at most AC companies is like listening to an auctioneer.
Who wants an AC tune-up? Do I hear $3.99? How about $2.99? No, let's drop it. $79? Do we have a deal? Going once, going twice? Sold!
Not at Duck Duck Air Conditioning. We make it easy. We're offering a free AC inspection. No gimmicks, no fine print, just a completely free checkup from our highly trained techs to make sure your AC is ready for summer. Call 904-862-6769 now to schedule. Duck Duck Air Conditioning, because free is better than bidding. Any required repairs are not included in the inspection.
Hi, I'm Kate
Karen, owner of Clay Solar Installation Partners, your local women-owned solar company. At Clay Solar, we're more than just panels and power. We're about people. We make the switch to clean energy simple, stress-free, and built to last. If you've had a bad experience with solar in the past, we can help. We specialize in dependable solutions and top-notch customer service, so you can finally enjoy the savings and sustainability you deserve. Schedule your free consultation at claysolar.com.
Life is just so busy this time of year. Between work, the kids' games, family vacations, I need a yard hero to free up my weekends.
You mean somebody who does mowing and trimming?
Yeah.
How about mosquito control?
Yeah.
What about irrigation and pet waste removal?
You do that too? You're my lawn hero.
Find your lawn hero at heroeslawncare.com. Heroes Lawn Care, because every lawn needs a hero.
Leon Searcy here. Let's be real. I used to eat like a lineman because I was one. And man, those habits are hard to break. I needed help to stop with the munchies and lose weight. But now, I'm bringing sexy back. I call Physician Guided Weight Loss. Their medical team is helping me shed pounds safely with a custom plan to help me slim down. And their firm pricing means same price every month. Hey, you want to bring sexy back? Visit Physician Guided Weight Loss at pgweightloss.com.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, second round of the NFL draft underway. First pick, Carson Schweizinger, linebacker out of UCLA, went to Cleveland. Jaden Higgins, talked a lot about him. Big wide receiver, 6'4", 214 out of Iowa State. He goes to Houston. I'm not a big fan of that. 140 balls, 2,166 yards, 15 touchdowns. His average per ain't up on this. We were looking a little bit earlier. I want to say it was like 15 a reception. Very talented safety. Talked a lot about him during the combine. Nick Amanawari out of South Carolina. And moments ago, Ohio State, one of their backs goes. Judkins goes. Quinchon Judkins went fourth overall in the second round. Looks like Miami has made a trade. All sorts of trades. See, out of the 4 picks, well, I can't figure it out on here, but the 37th pick is getting set to be made. They are telling us the pick is in, but we have yet to see it. As soon as I get it, I will share that with you. But a lot of movement here in the second round. It is a little bit of a dog and a pony show. You know, in these later rounds, they bring in a lot of former players, and I respect the good things they do when they celebrate the military and issues like that. Obviously, 76-56. I usually agree with 90% of what you say. I tell people all the time I don't have to agree and understand. Jalen's not the same he was for that price tag. I would have to be a performance based, and I'm still worried about being a cancer locker room. Okay, yeah. Listen, my point be crystal clear on this. I'm not saying do it. I'm not saying go make a move. I'm saying if this administration thought that he could help, I would expect you as a fan base to support that. That's what I'm trying to say. If I haven't been able to express that correctly, then that is on me. I'm not pounding the table here saying go get Jalen Ramsey at this point in his career, making well over $20 million a year. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying that this organization is going to be bold. What if it's Jair Alexander? He's on the block, right? What if it's Mark Andrews? We were talking about Brenton Strange all the time. What if all of a sudden they make a deal tonight with Mark Andrews who dropped that ball for Baltimore in the playoffs? All right, I know that but I get the Jalen thing touches a nerve, and I get it. But I'm just trying to show that, man, you got to let stuff like that go. It gnaws on you. Some guy said, your point is not real. If your wife left you for another man, where can I find that? How could I get over it? Let me see if I can find that again, exactly what it was. And I guess it says I can't find it. I'm getting hundreds. I'm getting hundreds and hundreds that are coming in. But anyway, his point was, if your wife leaves you for another man, how can you compare that to Jalen Ramsey leaving you? Well, my point is this. That stuff happens all the time, right? We all know someone who's been divorced because their wife cheated on them or vice versa, and they end up getting a divorce. You get over it. You find someone new. Your life goes on. Okay? It may not happen immediately. It may take a week. It may take a month. It may take a year. But you eventually get over it. And every day you roll out of the rack, that pain hurts a little bit less. You can't do the same thing when it comes to a player like this. Maybe you can't. I don't know. Maybe it is a fair point. I find that I never think about my divorce anymore. But there are still times that I get pissed off that Bobby Orr left and signed with the Chicago Blackhawks. So maybe you are right. And maybe I am wrong. I don't know. 3,600. Rick, pound the table. Jalen would walk in and be the best player on defense. 8489. Rick, people can't get over their own losses, more about their own security. Okay. 0981. Blue, bring Jalen home. 8398 Blue, agree to disagree. We just drafted the number one corner wide receiver. We have Jerry and Jones going to play outside as well. Why bring in a cancer that's not intangibly rich? Yes. Not the new Jags culture. Yeah, okay. Okay. I'm all in on intangibly rich. But I've also been pretty outspoken about bringing in a couple of guys who are so good, even if they do have questionable character. Okay? The most successful teams around here had guys on their roster with questionable character. Cell phones just weren't around. That is in the 90s. Coughlin knew it. He identified it. Exceptions. No, I'm not saying bring in a guy with questionable character who's an average to below average football player. I'm talking about really good football players. So they didn't pull the trigger last night on Travis Hunter. If you're trying to tell me that this team could get George Pickens, I'd do it. Oh, George Pickens is going to freak out every once in a while. George Pickens is a diva. George Pickens is going to get... You know what? I think you need a couple of those guys. Not a locker room full of them. But some of the greatest players who have ever played this game have had either trouble with the law or trouble, whatever it may be. I'm not saying that I want a team, that's on parole. Don't get me wrong. But I don't need the perfect human being on my team. You know what I'm saying? Some of the best players who've ever played this game have been a little bit rocky. Getting all this stuff now on Pickens, all this stuff on Jalen. 36-39, I'm not mad he quit on this anymore. It doesn't mean I necessarily want him back. Yeah, and that's fine. Again, and my point is, if this administration said, we're bringing him back because he can help us win, play him at safety. More picks are in. I have no idea how to pronounce this guy's name. Are you kidding me? Savaiineaea. He's from the West Side. Actually, out of Arizona. He's a guard. Jonah. Jonas, and then it's like all Vanna White. Savaiineaea. A guard. So he goes to Miami. Yeah, I'm looking at best available position-wise. And again, there's not a lot of offensive linemen projected to go in the second round. And let's see, that's the I think that's the 5th pick of the second round. So that's our first offensive lineman. We'll see. New England on the clock, then Chicago, New Orleans. Well, New England just got it back. They got Henderson. So both Ohio State picks go 2 out of the last 3. Judkins, then Henderson. Henderson goes New England. And there was some talk to some teams trying to move up yesterday to get Genty. And, I'm from Boston. Some buddies were asking me, they still like Stevenson there. The kid out of Oklahoma. But now they add Henderson. Wow. Done a lot to that offense after adding Will Campbell last night. So the Bears are on the clock. I don't know if I want to get into that. I don't have enough time left in the show in order to get into that tonight. This guy goes, we need bar fighters, 82, 83. See, and I know you people are smart, but some of the greats who have ever played, man, the trouble that they used to get into, the things that they were involved in, there was just no social media. I mean, I wouldn't give up anything to be alive and to be in it right now, but let's face it, man. I mean, we're under constant surveillance. Back in the day, you could do whatever it was that you wanted, and there was absolutely no. Can you imagine if there was video on Mickey Mantle in New York City back in the day, or Babe Ruth, 40 years before that, back in the day? So, and this organization, I have to believe they spend millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars on their research, on their scouting, as far as character concerns. If social media was around, we would have seen the crash of so many long-lasting, incredible careers. They would have been ruined in a heartbeat. Now, I think it's fair to say, well, maybe they would have made changes, depending on that. And vice versa, with a lot of today's guys who are smart enough to understand that there is surveillance everywhere, that if this was back in the 50s, 60s, or 70s, they had nothing to worry about. And heck, up until when I got here in 95, you didn't have any of that. Right? I was a little bit younger then. I used to hang with some of those guys. I saw what it was like, both over in Tallahassee and here. I think there's far more of, just the fear factor of, hell no. I'm not going to take a chance to ruin something great, a great career that I have, based on the fact that some knucklehead whips out a cell phone. But anyway, Ty Cobb. Yeah, Ty Cobb killed someone, they said. Babe Ruth would eat like 17 hot dogs, drink 30 beers, and then go find a brothel. Right? I mean, these stories are legendary. Go back and read about boxing. Go back and read about baseball's the worst, by the way. Pete Banaszak, when I got into town, Pete was like the original Jaguars Radio Network post-game analyst. And Pete even told some stories on air. But the ones off air were so much better. I mean, those days of the Oakland Raiders? Are you kidding me? In the Oakland days? With the long hair, just getting out of the hippie movement. But, I mean, we saw what happened in Dallas, right? I mean, with the White House. Anyway, enough of that. We'll say that for another day. Pick is in before the break. Let's see. Pick number 39 going to the Chicago Bears. The Bears, man. I mean, last night I was, what was it? It was Greeny. Like, oh, I don't care what anyone says. There's not a better rivalry in sports than Green Bay and Chicago. I'm like, what? I mean, feel free to win. Feel free to win a Super Bowl. You had the greatest quarterback, some said, ever in Lord Favre. You won one Super Bowl. It's the first one I ever covered in 1996 in New Orleans. And you won one with Aaron Rodgers. I know you won some with Bart Starr back in the 60s. But that's 2 Super Bowls in, 50 years? And the Bears? The Bears? I lived in Chicago for 7 years. The Bears, they won in 85. What have they done since? And with that talent, they only won 1 Super Bowl? The greatest rivalry. It's not even close. I can give you 5 better college football rivalries than the Bears and the Packers. Oh, they get Luther Burden III. Really like him. Wide receiver out of Missouri going to Chicago. Not as big as we said earlier with Jaden Higgins out of Iowa State, but Burden III out of Mizzou goes off now to Chicago at number 39. Coming up next, number 40, New Orleans, where I'll be on my way in 20 minutes. Me and the GF, picking up my girlfriend, or picking up my daughter in Tallahassee. Probably spend the night in Pensacola. Get up tomorrow morning, make the rest of the trip to New Orleans. We're delivering a bed that she bought, and it's for her granddaughter. So we're meeting her son and her son's wife in New Orleans. They're coming from Houston, something that you're familiar with.
Yeah.
Did you make the trip down I-10 from Houston all the way here?
Yeah, I did. Long trip.
Yeah. I haven't driven to New Orleans in years. I don't think I've driven to New Orleans since, I was going to say the 96 game. I've been there many times in air, but we actually went there a couple of years ago. That's right. But we flew into New Orleans and took a rental car back and played all those golf courses in Alabama and stuff. I can't. Robert, is it Trent Jones? I don't know. I can't keep everything in line. But we'll be doing that tonight and tomorrow. So Bourbon Street coming up on Saturday, and then we're going to fly back. Again, it's a rental deal, and fly back on Sunday. Get ready for the show here on Monday. All right, final thoughts coming up. Just a couple. Hacker Nation will join you at 8.
He's nationally syndicated sports writer Matt Hayes.
And you might be.
And he's Jags beat writer Hayes Carline.
At least he got his name right.
Get more Hayes.
I gotta get me one of those.
Afternoons on 1010XL.
Ballou here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smunez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Here you can see.
Yo, it's your main man E.T. here, and it's time to make those summer break plans. Clay County is calling. From paddleboarding on Doctors Lake to reeling in the big one on Black Creek or cruising the St. Johns River. There's no better place to dive into warm weather fun. Enjoy live music, local festivals, food trucks, and fireworks lighting up the night. Discover scenic parks, hidden trails, and must-visit local gyms. Your summer adventures start here. Visit exploreclay.com.
At Performance Painting, we've spent decades protecting commercial properties with durable, long-lasting coatings. And we can bring the same expertise when painting the exterior of your home. With industry-leading materials and a proven process, we extend the life of your home, reducing maintenance costs and preserving its value. Now, for a limited time, save $500 when you hire us to paint your home's exterior. Just mention 1010XL. Go to performancepainting.com to schedule a friendly estimate. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting. Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? You have questions? Call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Tailgaters parking season passes are on sale now. Secure your Jaguar season parking today. Enjoy indoor restrooms, a full-service bar and grill, access 4 hours before kickoff. Visit tailgatorsparking.com and book your space today.
Weekends were made for sports. And I'll tell you my take on this weekend's most interesting option. 1010XL's Media Mogul Hicken here. Watch for Musing with the Media Mogul on YouTube and Facebook. Made possible by Tucker Equipment Rentals in Neptune Beach.
Free Comic Book Day. Hey, I'm Ben Kay, owner of Gotham City Limit, your local comic shop, inviting you to the Community Party of the Year, Saturday, May 3rd. Free comics, free food, huge discounts, and more. Let's take Free Comic Book Day to the limit. Gotham City Limit.
Okay, sports fans, Hicken here. Let's talk skin. I and Beaches Dermatology are reminding you all to wear your sunscreen. Spring is here, and that means more time outside. Grabbing the clubs for your tea time? Bring the screen. Heading out on the boat? Bring the screen. Headed to the beach? Definitely bring the sunscreen. All in all, make sure sunscreen is included in your outdoor activities. If you have any concerns now, give Beaches Dermatology a call. I've been seeing them for years, and my skin thanks me for it. Call today online at beachesdermatology.com.
Yo, this is Tony from Tony D's. Are you looking for a great slice of pizza? Well, we have about 12 varieties. Most places won't have slices of pizza after lunch. At Tony D's, you can get a slice all day. It's always fresh at Tony D's Pizza. Bay Meadows and 295.
Your home is more than walls and a roof. It's where you breathe, drink, and power through life. At Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to keep it all running smoothly. From clean, cool air to clean water, reliable power to expert plumbing, we do it all. For over 35 years, families have trusted Donovan to make their homes healthier, safer, and more comfortable. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing today, 904-270-COOL, where health meets home.
The best value for golf in Jacksonville remains Cimarron. Totally reestablished with new tee boxes, improved fairways and greens. Also a brand new restaurant with indoor and outdoor settings and live music. Join the Wild One loyalty program online at Cimarron Golf. When's the last time you played Cimarron? Cimarron Golf Club on 210, the Wild One.
I was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean when it happened. There was a sudden jolt and our submarine crashed on the seafloor. We were in total darkness.
That's Dr. Dejana Figueroa, a marine biologist and STEM teacher, talking about a deep sea dive she'll never forget.
It's funny, when I was a kid, I was afraid of the ocean, and there I was, 2 miles below the surface. But as a scientist, you prepare for that. Using our training and a little creativity, we fixed the sub and finished our experiments. The dive was just too important. Every dive gives us glimpses at things few people ever get to see. Glowing creatures, fiery undersea volcanoes. When we got back to the surface, I kissed the ground and called my mom, of course. But you know what? I wouldn't trade that dive for anything.
Dr. Figueroa uses her passion for STEM to discover new things and make the world a better place. She can STEM, so can you. Check out She Can STEM for more stories and inspiration. A message from the Ad Council.
Beat the spring cleaning rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. This month, get Zero Resified and take 25% off all services. Visit ZeroResJacksonville.com and tell them Hicken or 1010XL sent you.
Zero Res.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville. Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
Second round of the NFL draft underway, and I'll update you there in just one moment. Of course, the Jaguars will not be selecting in the second round. They will tonight in the third. They'll have the 6th and 24th pick, respectively, in the third round, which is picks number 70 and picks number 88. 40-42, I'm going to end with this. And let's hope you're wrong. So the Jags will still be going 3 and out without an offensive line. That is why I hope tonight, with one of these third-round picks, the Jaguars go back to the offensive line. Tyler Shough was just selected by the Saints. Wow. So another quarterback, no Shedeur Sanders, who's just really kind of taken over the draft. And Everyone seems to have an opinion on him. Everyone seems to know whether or not it's going to work for him or it's not going to work. It's really, pretty polarizing at this point. He wasn't selected because he's a dad. He wasn't selected because he's entitled. He wasn't selected because he's diva. What did I see? Jason Whitlock today commented that he wouldn't draft him because he saw a necklace that he was wearing. And, I don't know. It's a bad quarterback class. We'll see what happens. I was surprised Pittsburgh didn't draft a quarterback class, and apparently that's where Aaron Rodgers is going to end up when it's all said and done. But the last 3 picks, Travion Henderson, running back out of Ohio State, went to the Patriots. Missouri wide receiver Luthen Burden III goes to the Bears. And then out of Louisville, Tower Shuck, moments ago, going to the Saints at number 40. So that leaves the next 5 picks, the Bills, the Jets, the 49ers, the Cowboys, and the Colts. But I will say that there has been a lot of trading going on. So after we saw a night ago, would you be shocked if James Gladstone moved up to the second round? I think I'd be very surprised, yes. But he still has, 9 overall picks to make during the remainder of this draft.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. CoolCatsJacks.com.
The coolest cats in town.
All right, Hacker, how you doing?
Boy, what a evening last night. What a day it's been today. I was very, very, very pleased with what transpired one night ago.
Yeah. We talked about it the 3 hours leading up. We brought every possible scenario, but when they actually pulled the plug and made the move, feels like the city, though, really split. I don't know about your reaction. I would say it was more support than it was going against. But there's no middle ground. There's no let's just wait and see how this turns out. It's like everyone's already formed their opinion on it.
Well, I'll give you credit because you wanted Travis Hunter when we talked about this yesterday. I was on the opinion of I think they're going to trade. I would have traded back and accumulated picks. But as I got to thinking about it, whether it works or not, obviously we'll tell the tale. But for the here and now, James Gladstone, I'm just going to start calling him Stones.
Yeah.
I think. Because Stones showed some stones last night. You want to introduce yourself to the National Football League? Yeah, I'm 34. I look like I'm 18. All the jokes and the yada, yada, yada. James Gladstone, in 2 months on the job, pulls off one of the biggest draft day trades in the history of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mm-hmm. And we're talking 30-plus years. And you go up and you get Travis Hunter. And I don't get this narrative. And Coach Campo and I are going to talk about this a lot tonight. I got people telling me, the Browns got a haul, and the Browns got this, and the Browns got that. Look at what the Browns got. They actually helped the Jaguars in the 4th round. The Jaguars moved up, 20 spots in the 4th round tomorrow. Yeah, you gave him pick 36, but just took Quinshon Judkins, the running back, and you got the first next year. I'll get to that in a moment. But Rick Ballou, if I tell you last night, you could have Travis Hunter, or you can have Mason Graham and Quinshon Judkins.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody's going to take Travis Hunter. Now, if you're good, that first-round pick becomes, late teens, early to mid-20s next year, and that's bad for Cleveland. If you're bad, it's a top 10 pick. Well, it's a different conversation. But Jacksonville's betting on themselves, and I have no problem with the compensation that they gave.
That was kind of our play yesterday. I said if you go get Travis Hunter and you can win in a very dysfunctional division, then you're drafting in the 20s.
Yeah.
Hayes Carline points out, fair, but I'm sure the way that it is perceived with other teams like Cleveland is every year Jacksonville's drafting in the top 5 or the top 10. I'm sure sports radio right now in Cleveland is looking at Jacksonville saying, they're going to have a terrible year. We'll be drafting, 5th, 6th, or 7th next year at this time.
I'll tell you what was interesting is I was listening to some sports radio in Cleveland, our friends at 92.3, also ESPN Cleveland, just kind of getting the lay of the land for them. We're actually going to go to Cleveland. My buddy Scott Petrak of BrownsZone.com is going to join us briefly tonight as well. The media up there is spinning this in the Browns' favor. Oh, it's a great pick. Andrew Berry doing a great job. The fans are pissed. At least the ones that I heard call in and the ones that they were reading their texts on the air like we do here. The fans were fuming about not getting Travis Hunter. So the fans are very upset in Cleveland. The media thinks it's a great deal for the Browns. So there's a lot of butting heads right now in Cleveland, Ohio.
All right, TJ Sanders out of South Carolina, defensive tackle. We talked about him a little bit here over the last couple of months. He is the latest pick, 41st overall to Buffalo. All right, what else is up tonight?
Yeah, we're absolutely loaded. Drew Swick is the high school football head coach for Travis Hunter. Had him at Collins Hill High School up in Georgia for 4 years. Coach is going to join us coming up probably about 9 o'clock or so to kind of talk about Travis and how he was in high school. He actually talked about the whole Florida State, Jackson State thing a little bit as well, and just kind of get some in-depth information on Travis Hunter. And we're going to have Coach Dave Campo in studio with us. How about this? Kevin Mathis, 9-year NFL vet at corner, played with Coach Campo in Dallas, was the secondary coach for Travis Hunter at both Jackson State and Colorado, where he's currently the secondary coach. Kevin Mathis is going to join us at 8:20 to talk about Travis Hunter.
What a staff Prime has. That includes Warren Sapp and now Byron Leftwich.
Yeah, I saw that.
There's someone else I'm missing. Who's the running backs coach?
There's a bunch of former NFL guys out there.
I think they have a really good running backs coach out there at Colorado as well. But Leftwich has been added to that staff. Have a great show.
Thanks, Rick.
RJ, good to catch up with you again. Thank you for producing the program.
Absolutely. Loved it, man.
Young man. That's going to do it for us. I appreciate the conversation. I appreciate the love tonight. All this love on Travis Hunter. I know we went a little sideways on Jalen, just trying to make a point, not to bring him back, but if the organization is bold and makes a move, get over it. All right? All right, you're all good. It's been a blast. I will be back Monday at 6 o'clock. I will be energized and ready to go. 6 to 8 right here on your home of the Jags. Keep it here with Hacker to update you on everything that's going on in the draft, including the Jags schedule to make 2 third-round selections. Have a great weekend. Be safe. We'll talk Monday at 6. I'm Rick Ballou.